Hello again. I'm back. So yeah, basically the keypress function, which I believe in jQuery is just a mask for JavaScript. So it'll be using the same keypress detection as JavaScript itself, I think. So anyway, it doesn't appear to allow me to. It can't tell more than one keypress at a time, and it can't tell when you release the key, which is also kind of bad. So we needed an alternate method for detecting key presses. So we need something else. Multiple keystrokes detection. You can map it. So we create an array of key presses. That's interesting. I'm just looking at a tutorial here. So we can create. Let's try this. Map equals blank array. Let's decide. Let's put our key map up here. Like so. Key map, and then apparently we can go. See, this is using. This is JavaScript, not jQuery, I think. So map edoc. I don't actually understand this code. At all. Like, look, let me show you. This is the code that I'm looking at. Let me put it here for you. So that is the example code. So I'm looking at it. It's like, where is this defined? Where is this defined? Yeah, there's no reference for these values. Energy, apparently key down does not reliably create a certain key press value. It's not a reliable thing. Hi Duck, welcome to the stream. Key up. So I don't actually understand what this is. I don't get what this guy is saying with his example. He prefixes it with or she says multiple keystroke detection is easy if you understand the concept, and I don't understand the concept, which kind of sucks. No Duck, no one else is seeing double messages from you. It's just you. On key down. See, I don't think this is going to work if we just run it, because there's no relevance to. There's no definition of these. Anybody get this at all? Because I don't. E.key code. Okay. Blur. Okay. Let's see if there's a better, more readable example. Maps of the ones that are down. Just reading through some code maps here. Croppy was clearly printing double messages on purpose there. Yes, the problem energy is that on key down only shows one key at a time. This tutorial is saying that we should map all of the key presses to an array and then gave this example code here, but I don't understand what it's doing. It seems to have variables that are not declared beforehand. So I'm not really sure how to use that. I do have another example here. Let's try this one. So this one here does this, which looks much more readable. It uses key down and key up. Which I guess we will, for the sake of a simple game, not worry about potential cross-compatibility issues. I'd be curious, because I've got American viewers, right? I'm assuming some of you... Yeah, Duck's American. So, curious to see whether your keyboards work with this. So, that's a document.keydown function if e.keycode in map, which is this here, which I forgot to copy. If e.keycode in map... So these are the things we're looking for, I guess. Which... Have I lost them? Where are they? I'm going to have to look those values up again now. There's a description of what I'm doing over here, Freelancer, or people are welcome to explain to you what I'm doing. So, key down function. Mapping this to an array. This is our event, and this clears the key code from the map. I'm just going to have to look at those codes again. Key code mapper. Why can I no longer find... I had awesome, like, JavaScript keypress to key code. Found it. Okay, so W is 87. A is 65. S is 83. And D is 68. I am using jQuery, as you can see here. So we're mapping these keys, and I guess we can check if we're pressing them all here. Let's just try it and see what happens. Yeah, let's give it a shot and see what happens. So, W, oh, hang on, don't type in there, WASD, if I hold down W, hold down A, hold down S, hold down D, damn it, nothing, blah. Let me console.log in map as well, so we can see whether it's finding them. No, I'm listening to an advert on Spotify. Page refreshed. A is in map. G is not in map. W, S, and D. So they're all in the map, and then pressing all 4 is maybe just more than is allowed. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe 3 is the maximum we can detect. So let's just try detecting these 3, which is WAS, and we'll see what happens. Still not... Well, it's detecting that they're in the map, which is good. But I'm not really sure how it's actually behaving. Okay, well let's try building this into this. So after we refresh the canvas and draw the tiles and draw the player, we're going to do we want to calculate movement before drawing? We probably want to calculate movement before drawing. So before we draw the tiles up here, calculate positions. So here we're going to console.log map 87. Let's see what happens, because we're detecting the value of it like this. Just kind of interesting how that works. Okay, so 87 is W, so we should get a load of falses printing, and if I hold W, change to true, and then false, and true, and false. That seems to be pretty good. That seems to be working. That's nice. So let's try logging W, and then also logging A, which is 65, and getting rid of that other log. Uncaught error, missing bracket after argument list on line 72. Oops. Really? Oh, I see. Got it. So, false. True. 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 Yeah, seems to be working. And it's like, it's reacting nice and quick as well. Perfect. Okay, sorted. So we just need to get that to map D again, which was 68. And yeah, okay, cool. So we've actually got the ability to detect movement now. Freelancer says, may want to reduce how often you check for key down, could be very laggy. Key down is not inside a loop, it is an event listener. So I don't think you can really change the speed of that, can you? I'm welcome. I'm happy to be corrected. Or are you talking about me referencing? Because this isn't checking the key value. This is checking this object array. So I don't know. I feel like you can't have an event listener that calls less often, can you? I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. So for calculating position, what we want to do is we want to change the X of the canvas if we press A or D. I need to, I'm going to comment these down below. W, A, S, D. Okay. So when we're calculating positions, we want to change the X if the A key is pressed. So if... Actually, let's use a switch statement, because people were talking about telling me to use switch earlier. So I need to look this up, because I don't use them very often. I've just gotten a load of shops that sell switches now. Let me put JS switch in my search and just brush up on this. Okay, so switch expression map. I don't think we can use a switch statement to interrogate an array, actually, because each one is a different value. No, I don't think we can. Okay, if map A65, then that means that the A key, the left key, is pressed. If that's the case, we want to take some value away from the X, I think. Let's just see what happens. We should find that things slide around on the screen when I press A. Look at that! Awesome! I just tried to press D there to make it go in the opposite direction. Let's do X equals X minus 2. Obviously, we probably want to add a bit of velocity and stuff to this at a later time to make it a bit smoother. Oh, that's a bit of a weird value there. Let's change that. So just for now, we'll keep it nice and simple. Duplicate that. And if the D key is pressed, which is 68, then we will add to the X. This is really fun. I haven't made a game in so long. There we go. Oh, look at that! So the game is drawn on the screen, and it's the coordinates of the elements are being drawn based on the... You can change that to... Oh, wow, really? X minus equals 2. I didn't know you could use that for numbers. I've always used it for strings, to like append to a string. That's kind of cool. That's nice. I like that. It's a lot neater. It does exactly the same thing. But look at that. We can draw the game. Oh, yeah, let me change that back to a plus. That was weird. Lovely. Okay. Fantastic. So if you didn't realize, because you joined the stream a little earlier, if you go to accidentalgames.com/canvas, you will be able to actually play with this. It's live on my website, so feel free. Awesome. So cool. So I think the next step, I suppose, would be gravity. Although, at the moment, if we do that, then our character is just going to fall through the floor because we have no hitbox interaction built in yet. I think what we need to do is actually create some velocity values for our little guy. So, let's create a Vx and a Vy, which are going to be our velocity values for the x and y coordinates. So what we want to do is if somebody presses the if somebody presses A or D, then it's going to set their velocity to a value, say 10, and we will have something which constantly takes away 1 from their velocity if they're not stationary, if that makes sense. So make it top down, no gravity needed. No, I want to try out some gravity physics, especially hitbox collision, because I've never done that on such a low level before. I'm curious to see how I can get it to work, and I do have a formula, and we'll have to see how well it behaves. Well, we're making pretty good progress today. This is cool. So let me see. We've got our main function here. Let's try adding to our velocity. Do we want to set the velocity or do we want to add to the velocity? Let's add to the velocity as long as the velocity is within a certain maximum bound. So, what did I just delete? I wasn't really paying attention. Oh, okay, I was just adding to the x, wasn't I? So, if Vx is less than our maximum velocity, which I'm going to set to 5, I guess. We're going to do Vx plus 1. Vx plus plus. And if our Vx is less than greater than minus 5? If our Vx is greater than minus 5, take away from our Vx, I think. And then we want to have a exposition calculation down here. Which is going to take away from our x or z depending on the velocity, I think. So we want to do x equals x minus equals, my new favorite thing, x. Have I called it xz again? No, it's vy. Vx. X minus equals Vx. So it's going to take the velocity away from the current x. And then we want to say if Vx is less than 0, Vx plus plus. So it's going to slow its velocity down. So it's going to bring Vx closer to 0. And if Vx is greater than 0, Vx minus minus. No way is this going to work first time round. So I'm going to press A. Okay, well, it doesn't seem to be doing much in terms of its behavior. Maybe it's reacting too quickly. I could try taking away like 0.25 or something. So that it behaves slower. It is coming to a halt. Like when I let go, it stops. But it's not really gliding to a halt so much. Okay, now it's just not stopping. If Vx is less than 5... Oh, right, I edited the wrong bit, that's why. Okay, so I want to do it over here. Oh yeah, look at that. So you can see it sort of glides to a halt when I let go of the key. Nice. So we've got some simple velocity going on here, which is nice. And the reason that we need to do velocity now is because the idea is that there'll be gravity velocity. So we'll have a terminal velocity, which is its maximum downward speed. And if there is ground below it, we will set its velocity to 0 and stop it from increasing, kind of thing. And when we want him to jump, we will give him a positive y velocity, which will cause him to launch up, and his positive y velocity will be slowly degraded, like we're doing with the x here, and that will cause him to sort of jump, hang in the air at the top of his jump, and then fall again. I think it'll behave quite nicely. Look at that. I think that's pretty neat. If you go to the site, does that feel comfortable to you? In terms of behavior? I mean, we can make it a bit slower simply by changing this. We can change the max speed. In fact, we could set that to a constant. Let's max speed equals 3. And then down here, change this to max speed. So this is a programmer convention that I follow, which I was taught at university, which is basically, if it's a constant, make it all caps. If it's a variable, use lowercase or camel case even. So now I've set the max speed to 3, we should find that he moves much slower. Yeah, that's a bit slower. So we can kind of play around with his behavior that way. That feels nice. I like the sort of smooth stopping there. Fun. Okay, nice. So, next, I guess we kind of need to do collision detection and gravity at the same time. You think it starts a little too quick for you? Currently we are simply, we're adding 1, so we could change that to add 0.5 to cause it to speed up a little slower. So he will slow down slower than he starts. There's a bit of a slower start now when you move. Huh, interesting. Crothers posted a link in the stream chat. Good. So I don't know whether to do vertical velocity or let's do gravity next. So we've got our velocity here. We're going to add a new variable here, a Boolean value, on ground. Let's say can fall, because we're going to have one can left and can right, so that we can stop him from jumping through an element from the side as well. Can fall equals true. I'll set it to true at first. I don't think I need to comment these. They're fairly clear. We're not actually using these anymore. We've got them down here in this map. Let's assign our keybinds. Now it's maybe a bit too slow. Geez, make up your mind. We want to keep it in. The acceleration speed needs to be a multiple, or it needs to be divisible by the same number as the velocity removal speed. Otherwise, I think we'll end up being at a value that is at a point where we can't reach 0, and we'll just kind of keep oscillating back and forth. So if we want to make this faster, we can go for 0.75, which is a multiple of 0.25. I think. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is maths again. So now we should have a slightly faster speed up time. Okay. Welcome back, Special Builder. So, gravity. So, applying gravity is as much the case as saying if can fall, meaning it's allowed to fall. There's nothing in the way. If can fall, and the y velocity is greater than minus max terminal velocity. Vy is greater than terminal velocity times minus 1, which will turn our terminal velocity value into a yeah. I just do minus max speed here. Is that a thing? Can you do that? It seems to work. But I've just realized that I would have caught that as an error. I would use times minus 1 to turn this positive number, which is currently 3, into minus 3. I would multiply it by minus 1. But apparently this works. It's interesting. I'll leave it like that for now, I guess. And right, so the terminal velocity, which we're going to set to 5 for now. So that's how fast he can fall. If can fall and Vy is greater than minus 5, Vy minus equals, and then the speed that he changes his fall at, so I'll make that 0.5 for now. 0.75. And then let's actually put that above here. X minus equals Vx. I feel like this is supposed to be down here after we calculate all of that stuff. Y minus equals Vy. If it can fall and its Vy is greater than minus 5, take away 0.75. So we should see it fall now when we refresh the screen. Like infinitely fall. Yeah, it's falling. I think it needs a higher max speed, and I think I'll make it fall faster as well. Let's change this to a constant, because we may need to reference it elsewhere. Let's make it 0.5. That's a little faster than it was. One. Terminal velocity, let's make it like 8. Yeah, it falls a bit faster now. Cool. Okay, so our falling is working. He's just falling endlessly now. So next we need to work on collision detection. Now, I have a site I found which has given me basically a piece of code which lets you work out if one square area is overlapping another square area. And it's actually pretty simple. It probably would have taken me a while to work out myself. But, yeah. I need more coffee. So, let me think. We've got our gravity. We've got our can fall. We need to set can fall to false and set his vertical velocity to 0 if he's on the ground. Freelancer says if you have any gravity changing elements in this game, it might be better convention to label it as a normal variable rather than a constant. That's true. I'm going to leave it as it is because I'm not really planning on making this a fully fledged game. Maybe I will. in which case I'll just change the naming. But currently there's no plans to change the value of gravity in this game, so I'll leave it as a constant for now. What am I doing? So our velocity calculations happen up here. I think we should calculate the vertical velocity. I think we should do the falling and bounding boxes and stuff before we do this. Let's mark this as a section or something. Calculate bounding boxes. Calculate vertical velocity. Calculate horizontal velocity, and then apply velocity. Apply new coordinates. So what we want to do here under the bounding boxes is what we're going to have to loop through all of the elements that make up the level, get their coordinate and their width, and compare their coordinate, including the x and y offset, with this formula. So the formula I'm gonna set it as a separate function down here to keep things tidy. So function is bounding collision. So this is going to return a Boolean true or false depending on whether it's colliding with something. So it's going to take player X and player Y, which is actually going to be pretty much the same all the time, but I'm going to change it a little bit. So if we're checking for the floor underneath to work out whether to change the vertical velocity, we will put the player Y coordinate a little bit lower than the player is. And when we're checking for a wall to the right of the player, we will set the player's X a little bit to the right of where the player actually is, to check whether that point collides. So those are our first two. Actually, we want player X, player Y, player DX, player DY. This is on my Minecraft terminology turning here. And then tile X, tile Y, tile DX, tile DY. So those are our 8 inputs. And then the function is if player X is greater than hang on. Left, right, left, right. So if the I'm kind of converting this into my own variables now. If the player X is greater than the tiles DX or the player's DX is greater than the tiles X, then we return false. If the player's y is less than the tiles look at this dx dy tx dy. Okay, yeah, that's fine. No, wait, yeah, t dx, okay, t dy. If the players, man, I'm just spouting nonsense, aren't I? Players hang on a second, how am I even declaring these? I'm declaring them as values of the tile, so I might actually just leave it as it is. I'm going to copy this directly just to save the danger of me mistyping something. Hang on, point. Is that a variable type? Point variable type. Sounds like it could be a variable type. It says JS print. This is copying the function directly from this site that I found. I wonder if this is maybe not for JavaScript, and that's why it's declaring it as a point type. Yeah, I think we're just getting rid of these. So this is box 1's left coordinate, box 1's right coordinate, box 2's left coordinate, and box 2's right coordinate. And I think this tutorial was for like Java or something instead of JavaScript, but I think it's going to work for us. In fact, it doesn't appear to be for any particular language. It's just a sample code, so I think that we don't need to declare the types there. It's going to be an object. So yeah, L1, R1, L2, R2. That's our comparison. Get rid of that. And then okay, cool. Oh, they use spaces. Who watches Silicon Valley? Okay, right. So we're going to go with that for collision. And then up here, calculate bounding boxes if collision Vy equals 0. So it's just going to stop it moving. Cropper, I'm pretty sure there is no box not touching thing. So our collision value is... Oh, we're going to have to do this in a loop. That's right. So for... Are we outside that other for loop? I think we are. Yeah, it's all the way up here. Where is that for loop gone? Oh, here it is. Okay. So we're definitely outside it. That's fine. For I equals 0, I is less than level dot tiles dot length. I plus plus. Then we're going to pass it the player's x coordinate which is we're actually gonna have to hang on. We're gonna have to make this a value p.x p.y what were those values? 240. This is going to declare the shape of the player's hitbox. That L20 H20. So we should be able to go collision p.x p.y. Actually, no, it's just p, because it calls p.x here. So we should be good, I think. Should be fine. And p... it's going to have to be... See, R1 is the right coordinate, which is the bottom right coordinate of the square. Each element should be stored as objects with the origin x and y, the size x and y, and the velocity x and y. I already have the elements stored up here as tiles. So the problem here is that it's looking for the bottom corner for R1, which is going to be R1 dot x equals L1 dot x plus R1. So that'll be the left corner's x plus R1 dot L. And oops. And R1 dot y is equal to L1 dot y plus R1 dot width, I think. So that'll set R1's coordinates to be the top left coordinate plus the width and height, I think. Seems right to me. And then we can do the same thing for L2. Like this. In which case I don't really need to pass it R1. And I... oh, hang on. These should all be L's. There we go. I don't think I need to pass it these second values. Just these. L1, L2. I think. And then we've got our X, Y, W, and H. I've got length and width. Length and width instead of height and width. So let's make length is height, H. That. And so we're passing it, the first value we're passing it up here is the player, the player hitbox. And the second value is the level.tiles I, which will pass it this object here, which has got an X, a Y, a W, and an H. I think that's good. So we are going to set can fall to false here. It's true here. Then we check the collision for each tile that exists in the game, and if we find that they are overlapping, this will return true. It'll set the VY to 0 and the can fall to false. I just know this isn't going to work, and it's going to just be like an hour of debugging. So when we reload here, it should errored. Unquote reference error. R1 is not defined. Where did I specify R1? Here we go. Let's try that. R1 is not defined. Line 116. Okay, there, will that make it happy? Well, it made it happy, but the collision detection appears to be not working, so what is not working? That's the big issue now. It's clearly not returning true here. Crap. What do you mean, can I turn on line numbers? I swear I've got line numbers over in the corner here. Okay, this is gonna be a pain, isn't it? What is going wrong? Let's try printing L1.x. And check that that's an actual value. 240. Okay, that's a valid value. L1.y should also return as a value of 240. Yep. L1.h. Breaks everything. I think it doesn't have an H because that's the P value, which is here. Oh, P L H. Why would that break it? Rectangle 1 and rectangle 2. R1 and R2 are rectangle 1 and rectangle 2. Well, actually, no. It's right 1 and right 2. So you've got left 1 and left 1 and right 1 are the two corner points of the first rectangle, and left 2 and right 2 are the two corner points of the second rectangle. Special builder. I'm pretty sure that I can't access the page variables through the console, which is why I'm not typing directly into the console. Maybe I can. What happens if I P? Yeah, P is not defined. I mean, that might be because the page is currently broken, but L1 has an L and an H. So why would .h not work? It's kind of weird. You're doing x plus height and y plus w. Shouldn't that be x plus w? Sorry, what? Okay, now it's printing the height, so maybe the page just hadn't saved properly? And the width? Freelancer says it might be better to define R1 and R2 in the tile object rather than initializing it every time collision runs. Less laggy plus they're easier to access later on. Could be the case. Could be true. Probably is true. L1.w is not defined. Ah. That's why. So I had the wrong value in there. I had it as... Right, still not working, but that explains it anyway. X, Y, W, and H. X, Y, W, and H. So I found one bug, but it's still not working. Console.log P. Huh, did not know that. Apparently I can access the values directly in the console. I thought that page values could not be pulled in live like that. You can even get the actual value of... Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, didn't know that. Right, so what we have here is a mess of code I don't probably properly understand that I took from somewhere that is holding us up. Right, I think I'm going to stop the stream here for today because it's getting a little late and work out what's wrong with this and get the hitbox detection working, and then we'll continue this another time. But I had a lot of fun tonight. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.